Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This one is going to be decidedly a lot more off the cuff than my usual videos are. Usually I put at least 2 or 3 days into making a video, but today I'm just gonna make this and sort of try to edit as little as possible and then just like get it uploaded. This is a showcase of my Windows 98 PC, which I call Titanium, which I've been working on and off for about a couple of years. This is one of my 2 retro PCs. The other is a Windows 2004 build, or a Windows XP build with parts from 2004, which I worked really long on, and I want to make a real good video for that one. But this one is not as much time put into, and therefore I feel like it's okay that I don't put as much time into this one as well. Time isn't the only factor that I decided to do a more off-the-cuff video though. First of all, I'm a bit sick right now. I'm feeling a bit under the weather. Second of all, or well, another reason why, rather, I'm not sure if I said the second of all for the first one or not. So another reason why is because I don't have all the equipment that I feel like I need to produce a better quality video. Mainly, I'm missing a tripod. I'm actually using just a stack of books and a chair right now to film this part. So to get like the dynamic angles that I want, I need my tripod, and I just don't have that right now. So right now I'm I don't have the equipment to do one of those videos justice. And I think that's really the main reason as such. So yeah, let's just get on with the video. So this is my Windows 98 build, which I call Titanium. It's made with or is based on a system, a compact Evo D310, I think it's called. It's very hard to find information about this since it's actually, most of the drivers have been removed from the HP website, which kind of sucks, but it's a Pentium 4 based system. It has a 2.4 gigahertz Northwood core. I'm pretty sure it's a 478B socket at least. And the motherboard in itself is quite basic, but it works under Windows 98, which is nice. There's actually like no chipset drivers for it, but it still seems to work fine. Funnily enough, I did the Windows 98 install about a year ago, but then I just kind of put it off to the side and didn't pick it up again until now. So I'm actually not sure exactly what drivers I got in here, except for the graphics card. I've been very, very important to get that working properly, so that's one of the more important parts. The system has a GeForce 2 Ti as its graphics card, which is pretty decent. It's getting upgraded soon, definitely. Actually got a card in the mail coming, so we'll definitely do an upgrade video. And then it has a SB4870 Creative Sound Blaster Live 5.1 card, which is pretty good. Pretty good Windows 98 compatibility. I had one laying around. I bought it for like really cheap from a flea market or like a secondhand store a couple of years back, and I'm still using it, and it works pretty well. The system is running Windows 98 SE. Also has 512 megabytes of RAM, which is a lot for Windows 98, but it works. Totally serviceable. Good amount of RAM. Way overkill for this system, but it's good to have. The system is fairly basic otherwise. I've installed some software that I need on here. I've installed some games. We're going to check out some games on it. Otherwise, I haven't really modded the case much. I put in a LED fan, a Corsair 140mm fan, which I can control not just the lighting, but the fan speed as well. If I put it up to max, maybe you can see the lighting down here increase, and definitely you can probably hear the fan go off a bit higher, so that's one of the things I decided to do with it. It's a very quiet system. The GeForce 2 Ti has a modded cooler with actually an Alienware 40mm fan that I just took it from an Alienware, which I had lying around, which makes it pretty quiet. The graphics card fan wasn't like an old magnetic fan, and it just did not sound like it was having fun. It sounded like a baby dying, sort of, or maybe a cyborg baby dying, rather. Yeah, otherwise, it's just got one CD-ROM drive, or a DVD drive, rather. Pretty simple. You basically need one to play old games that I got for this system, which I will, of course, showcase later. Yeah, I think the case in itself is pretty stylish. It's got very simple design. The green LED accents from the fan make it look a bit more interesting though. And there's also a small window here in the side panel where you can view the insides, which is pretty nice. I'm also using this Dell keyboard that has black topper switches, I want to say. I think it's black toppers, which I've modded to be linear on the main keys and then tactile on like Control, Alt, Tab and all that, which is pretty cool. I think it gives a nice feel. For a mouse, I was using a Razer Crate before, but now I'm using just this Razer Orochi. This was actually my first gaming mouse ever. The Razer Crate had a problem where in Windows 98, if you would drag it too fast, it would stutter, which is not great. It works well on almost any other system, but on the Windows 98 system, for some reason, it just does not want to work well. So the Razer Orochi fixes that for now. Maybe we'll choose another mouse in the future. I'm not really sure. It'll be evident sooner rather than later. Or, well, no, probably later, actually. Not that soon. I probably won't switch that mouse out very soon. The screen is actually pretty cool. It's another Compaq 1701, I guess it's called, but it's actually capable of 1280 by 1024 at 75 Hz, which is, in my opinion, pretty damn cool. I really like this monitor. It's really great for retro gaming. Unfortunately, it only has one VGA input and no other inputs, which I'm going to show you why that's a little bit of an issue later. Probably in another video, maybe, but let's for now actually just look at the PC, try to run some games, show you what it's capable of, and yeah, well, let's just get to it. So, alright, let's try out some games on this machine. As you can see, I have this Evolva background, which is pretty funny, because this game doesn't actually run very well on this computer, which is because of the graphics card. The graphics card on this computer, the GeForce 2 Ti, isn't really capable of running this game at any high settings. So there is actually a GeForce 4 coming in the mail, which we will do an upgrade video with later in the future. So let's look at Evolva later. Let's start with something more, well, easier to handle. So a baseline game I really like using is Quake, the original Quake from '96, or well, the GL Quake rather. GL Quake is a very good game to test system with, so I find, simply because it runs on essentially any graphics card, really, and if you want to test it, you just write time demo 1, just let that run, and then we should be able to see the score here afterwards it runs. So on a modern computer this would be over in like half a second, but on this computer it takes a little longer. So here we have the total frame rate there. So the FPS, frames per second, average of course, is about 70. And this is at 1280 by 1024 with 32 bits per pixel. So this is pretty good for Quake. Like if you want to run Quake, this is a pretty good Windows 98 setup to run it on. But Quake is really early in Quake is pre-Windows 98, really. But it's an excellent sort of game to play on these systems. I really like it. It's very fun. I've played a lot of Quake throughout my days, so yeah, this is definitely a favorite. This is one of those games where I could just start benchmarking and then just like end up playing through the entire like first episode. So let's try not to get caught up in that here. But yeah, it runs very well. Very highly satisfactory. No problems at all. So yeah, I really like this. So next up, we're gonna play the next Quake, and that's Quake 2. So Quake 2 runs very well as well. This is even more than the first Quake, a game that I just started playing to benchmark, and then I just end up like playing through the entire thing. Like you can see, I'm already at the reactor here. So we're actually getting a really good frame rate here. You can see in the top corner, we're getting about a locked 84 FPS. But that is because we are running at 1024 by 768 instead of 1280 by 1024. Reason for that is that you just can't really select it in the menus. Like if you go to video, go to the menus, you can only select 1024 by 768. There's no 1280 by 1024. There's only 1280 by 9600 or 960, which if you choose that, it looks, you get that ugly black bar on the black side there, which is, or on the right side, which is not super enjoyable in my opinion. Game looks good though, certainly, high resolution, but it's just not that great IMO. That's why I run it at 224 by 768, and no, I can't seem to edit it through config files or auto exec. Not really sure why, but it just doesn't want to let me do that, which kind of sucks, but I will definitely sometime again try again soon. But right now I just can't seem to get auto execs or config files working with the resolution I want. But yeah, Quake 2, excellent game, one of my absolute favorites. So many cool weapons, cool things to do, really quite amazing. Yeah, absolute favorite of mine. So let's fire a BFG just because we can. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so that's Quake 2, amazing game, one of my favorites. Next up is we got Quake 3. Now Quake 3 is kind of acting really weird. I'm not going to be playing this. It's acting weird. Essentially, the sound is like lagging behind the entire rest of the computer, which kind of sucks. So I won't be playing that. But yeah, next up we have Unreal Tournament here. This is UT99, of course. So this runs pretty well after I figured out what was wrong with it. So let's just see if we can find something fun here. We'll do Hyperblast. That's pretty fun. That's a good level. I haven't played a lot of Unreal Tournament. It's not really a game never been a huge Unreal fan. More of a Quake guy, definitely. But, you know, this is pretty fun. It runs pretty well. As you can see, we're getting about 60 FPS, which is decent enough, I suppose. We got the rocket launcher here. Let's see if we can do anything with that. Do some damage. Come on. Yeah, there we go. So the GeForce 2 Ti here is really putting in work in some of these older titles. Reminder that the GeForce 2 Ti was actually released in 2001 and not 2000 like the rest of the GeForce 2 series, because the GeForce 2 Ti was released during the same time as the GeForce 3 series to be a budget card. Now it performs slightly better than a GeForce 2 GTS, which is a great card for Windows 98 gaming, but it's not performing, and in games like this, it's performing very well. Like, it works without any issues, you know, this is perfectly playable. And I'm pretty sure this is 1280 by 1024 actually. Let's just check. Yeah, it's 1280 by 1024, 32-bit with high settings on everything. So this is, you know, great. So this game runs pretty well. There's nothing wrong with it. So Unreal Tournament, yeah, it runs amazing on a system like this. But let's just show you one game which doesn't run that well, and that's Evolva. So Evolva is a game I found pretty recently. It's really cool though. It's quickly become one of my favorites to play on this system. It's like a tactical shooter, squad-based shooter, where you command 4 different like mutants who can eat and absorb other things to get new powers and abilities. It's a super cool idea. I really like the game. It's super fun, cool graphics. But the problem is those cool graphics are kind of the downfall for this PC. So if you see this now, this is at 1280 by 1024, high settings with bump mapping on, which was kind of the ray tracing of its time. And you can see we're getting like 20 to 30 FPS average, like 35, 33. That's not great. If we turn off bump mapping, it gets better. So now bump mode is off. We get about 40 instead. But you want to play this game with the bump maps on. It just looks so much more oh, let's see, that was the wrong one. It just looks a lot more interesting with it on. You see, it gets more depth to the characters and like all the surroundings and everything, really. So I want to run this game with the bump maps on, and unfortunately the GeForce 2 Ti just can't really handle this. So that GeForce 4 coming in the mail is gonna probably make a huge difference. I read somewhere that, I mean, the GeForce 2 GTS performs at about the same as this GeForce 2 Ti, slightly slower. You get about 30 FPS, no bump maps. With the GeForce 4 you get about 87, and if that can be with bump maps at like 1024 by 768 can generate me 75 FPS like most of the time, that would be amazing. So yeah, this is definitely a game that I want to play more of, but before I get that GeForce 4 I'm just going to bide my time, because I want to run it like it should, at a high resolution and a high frame rate. But yeah, Evolva is a game I think is really cool, as you can tell by my background picture. Now, another game on this system which is a bit funky is Need for Speed 2. So Need for Speed 2 Special Edition is a really fun game. I'm not a huge racing game guy, but like this is a very fun game, honestly. I really like it. However, as you can see, once we get into a race here quickly, is that the game doesn't use any really good API. It uses glide only, which means that my GeForce 2 can't do anything for this game. My Pentium 4 instead has to do all the heavy lifting, which essentially turns this into a, you know, it's just kind of weird. As you can see, it's all software rendered. It looks like a PS1 game. Now, granted, I'm getting really high frame rates in this doing software rendering, so that P4 is definitely like lifting its weight, no problem. But I wanna play this with you know, 3D, actual like 3D graphics, like hardware accelerated. And well, good thing I'm actually getting a Voodoo 2 in the mail soon. I bought my first Voodoo 2 after looking for like 7 years. I've looked since I was 14, and I finally decided to buy one, and I got it for like a pretty okay price. And it should arrive here slightly after the GeForce 4 arrives. So I might make one video where I put in the GeForce 4 and one where I put in the Voodoo 2. Not really sure yet. But yeah, I'm definitely going to make a video about that, because that is really going to make this system amazing for those glide games like Need for Speed 2, and Turok is another one, Turok 99. That's definitely one of the games that's, I think it's glide only, and that's what we need. So yeah, and the plan there is for the GeForce 4 to do all the lifting when it comes to Direct 3D and OpenGL, but since it can't do glide, I'm gonna have the Voodoo 2 just to play those glide titles, which is gonna be great, I feel like. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I think Tomb Raider is another game, maybe. I think where glide is the only supported software. Not really sure actually. It's used a lot for glide benchmark, but yeah, this game looks good and cool. It's very fun to play, but yeah, it could look better, and we are definitely gonna notice that, I feel like, once we switch to that to the Voodoo 2 card, or add in that Voodoo 2 card. So yeah, that's another really cool game that I'm looking forward to playing some more. So now that you've seen the games, let's just talk about the software side of things. So first of all, for NVIDIA drivers, I got recommended to use the, let's see here, it's the 43.0, I think. It's 4.14 here, I don't think, yeah, it's 45.23 there, I think those are the ones. Those are supposed to be the sort of best, most stable, and most performance giving drivers for this card, and I tried running Evolva with the regular, let me just zoom in here. So I tried running Evolva with the latest driver instead, and that just did not work. The textures just completely disappeared, which sucked. So I just rolled back to this version, and it performs well, and it's, you know, it's all fine. It's all good, really. The GeForce 2 Ti is pretty cool. I like it, but it unfortunately just does not perform well enough in Evolva. Otherwise, I would definitely keep it. So as you can see, I've also done like my own kind of custom, you know, colors here. I really like turquoise, so I went for a turquoise sort of look there with the bars, so that's pretty cool, I guess. Not really much more to talk about when it comes to that. Other software I use is Daemon Tools to be able to mount some ISOs. Always useful. And then Fraps, I think it's version 1.9. It's the last one that works for Windows 98. And it works fairly well, I would say. It does what it's supposed to. Not much more, not much less, but it does what it's supposed to. AKA give me just this sort of frames and stuff, which I want to see, which is awesome. And, well, no, I want to make it smaller. Now, we also got some other more basic or like boring, like just drivers and stuff, but otherwise, that's just sort of the PC. As you can tell, I mostly run FPS games. I have Warcraft 3, StarCraft, and Half-Life that I didn't show, and Myst 3 and Daggerfall. Now, Daggerfall I can't get working. I have before. Like, I remember specifically playing this on the installation, but I can't seem to get it to work now, which is odd. I will try to get it working, because it's a fun game, but yeah. Myst 3 Exile is one that I bought. I haven't really played that yet. StarCraft is one that I also bought. I played it a little. I'm not really an RTS guy, but it's kind of fun, I guess. Warcraft 3 actually seems like it's a bit too difficult for the system to run right now, so I will definitely try that again once I get the GeForce 4. And Half-Life is, of course, well, Half-Life is just a great game. I just didn't remember that I had it installed on this system, that's why I didn't show it. But yeah, that's basically the Titanium, or else I call it Titanium, my Windows 98 PC, I call it Titanium. It's pretty cool system. I really like it, and I'm really looking forward to getting those upgrades for it. I feel like it's going to be great for the system. It's really going to bring a lot of more performance, and it's really like what I'm aiming for here, as opposed to the 2004 system. I'm trying to get, with this system, with the Windows 98 system, I'm trying to get as much performance as possible while still keeping as like best of a compatibility as possible, which is also why I didn't choose to get like a Voodoo 3. I wanted an AGP card that's super powerful that can do OpenGL and Direct 3D, and that's the GeForce 4. I will do that. And then I just want that Voodoo 2 to be able to play those glide games if I want to. Maybe I'll even do SLI Voodoo 2s in the future. I'm not sure about that. There's not a lot of space in this system, and if I have to do aftermarket cooling for the GeForce 4, like I have no clue what that cooler is like. If it's gonna be like a super loud, whiny sound, I might just change it. Because right now this PC is really quiet, even while gaming, which I love. It's one of the worst things with old systems is how loud they are, but this one is pretty chill, pretty cool. And yeah, hopefully we can just keep having it be a very quiet system and easily usable. So yeah, that's basically the PC, Titanium here. And well, thanks for watching. I hope that you liked it. As I said, this was a very sort of rambling off-the-cuff video. This is more to prepare you for the upgrade videos which are coming. Those might also be very rambly, to be fair, but this is at least a start, and I'm probably going to turn this into a small little video series about documenting how I work on this Windows 98 system. So thank you very much, hope you enjoyed watching, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.